our DevSec 2022 podcast, sponsored by Cisco, and we're at DevSec on the trade show floor. It is Cyber Wednesday, and I got to tell you, we're excited to be in conversation with our next guest. Kevin, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, so my name's Kevin Snayer. So I work for a cybersecurity division inside of Calian. So my company was acquired by Calian maybe about 5 years ago. I started as a hands-on pen testing, playing around with security tools, and then just stuck around long enough to end up having to manage a team of these kind of guys. And then now we've built out the company now that Calian's acquired us to start doing everything from RF emission security, we do drone mitigation, data security, and now we're really getting involved in quantum encryption security. So,
wow. So Kevin, this was your company initially, and then you were swallowed up by Calian.
So it was a company that I ran called Secure Technologies, and then swallowed up's a good word.
Right.
We, as we all know, Calian from the cyber world was doing a lot of putting people into contracts, and they wanted to get into the solution side of the business. So we were their test bed. They acquired our company to start getting into the solution selling, and then now we've grown that business out to a little over 200 million with a couple other acquisitions, one in Houston, Texas, and another one out of Toronto, Canada.
So, as you say, Calian was not necessarily in that space out of the gate, for sure. They were more HR kind of positioning people in. And they saw something in you and your company that they wanted to be a part of, and then it took you along for the ride, or you took them along for the ride, one way or the other.
Both, for sure.
Tell me about the value proposition of what it is that Calian brings to the table that maybe others don't, that little piece that they provide.
So Calian's an interesting company, and I'm sure you may be talking to some more of us, but we have a manufacturing division where we're doing manufacturing of satellites, Sirius XM radio, transatlantic flights, NASA, we're putting satellites up into, the ground communication satellites. We have a healthcare division, right? So every Canadian soldier on every base, we're doing their doctors, dentists, psychologists, that healthcare business. And this is going somewhere. We have a training and a learning division, right? So where we do tabletop exercises, we're doing emergency preparedness training for nuclear plants. And then now we've got the cyber division. The beauty is now I've got access to all those different industries, and we can cross-pollinate that business, right? That's the value proposition that the cyber team brings, where we were more of a siloed business where we were all busy doing what we needed to do. The cyber business was able to come across and help us to actually start to work together as Calian, as a one organization. And now we've even just built out what we call a defense organization. So,
quick question, Kevin. What is your approach to cyber? We've heard a couple of people talk about HR around cyber. Just a brief conversation around that.
All right. So this is, we got, how many time do we have?
The whole internet.
We got the whole day.
The whole internet, not the whole day.
We got the whole internet. Because so my first step is you just got to start down a path, right? So that's how I always, whenever I'm doing talks with people, you got to just do something to get yourself started.
Right.
Because one, nobody can be 100% secure, and if any company comes and says, do this and you'll be 100% secure, send them out the door, they're lying. So, and the next big challenge is people, right? So you need to start doing something, and then you need to figure out how to do the people part of it. So again, we do managed services and SOC operations and NOC. So that's one thing that we can help supply some of those people for organizations. That works in our commercial side of our business. And then of course, as we're here at DevSec, there's a defense industry that they're not so much about using cloud services and offshoring talent, right? So this is where we have a whole different approach. So now I'm starting to work on recruiting, finding smart people. They might not necessarily be cyber people, musicians and artists, because you need a different mindset to start, at pen testing people, right? You're not just looking,
He's a drummer, by the way.
He's a drummer, perfect candidate for cybersecurity, because you need to be able to use here's patterns, here's a weak signal. There's something off about that, right?
It's fascinating.
I never knew there was another use for my skill.
Yes, absolutely. And interesting, I just got my daughters. I have two young daughters. They just started drumming as well. So
Kevin, take them.
Take them with us.
Take them off the podcast.
But so that's what. So you get down the path. You got to start doing something. Get something on paper. Make sure you have a plan. We need to get this far, and then once we get that far, now we can start looking to get to the next step, right? And at the end of the day, it's evaluating your risks, right? So there's some things that you can never be 100% secure, so you need to figure out, okay, what part of my network is risk? So threat modeling, I always say that's another initial step you need to do. What do I care to protect? What's if somebody stole that? What's that risk of somebody having that information? There's a famous attack where a U.S. insurance company got compromised, and you think, oh, it's not a big deal at the end of the day, but it was an insurance company that worked with major U.S. government contracts. They were able to tell by the medical records that this guy's getting shots that require him to go to this country, and now they can start mapping out, okay, this is probably somebody in the spy game, right? So this is somebody that's doing investigation work, and you can tell that by their medical records.
Yeah.
So you never know what valuable information you have, because it's never like the movies where you sit down for your computer for 30 seconds, you hack in and everything's good. It's years of data mining and figuring out why do I want to attack your organization? Why do I want to, what's valuable to you? And so you need to understand what's valuable to your own organization. Yeah.
Kevin, so here we are on Cyber Wednesday at the Defense and Security Show. Everybody in that room has got cyber on their mind. Many of them don't know how to get in the game, or it's on the side of their desk, frighteningly so. How do they engage Calian? How do they get into a conversation with you?
And literally, you hit the word right on. Just start a conversation, right? So, again, part of our job is to be reaching out to these other organizations, but again, through our website, through the different means, you can get a hold with Calian, and we have a whole team of people ready just to start a conversation. So we need to figure out what's your data, where are you in the path of cybersecurity right now? Again, some organizations, they bought a firewall 5 years ago, they threw it in, and that's where they're at, right? And at least that's something, but we need to take them much further down the journey. And really, it's people is the biggest challenge, right? The people are doing the innovation, right? It's the people that are going to have to figure out what those requirements are. We can't just have AI equipment can figure out some things, what's in your network, but it's the people that really need to understand it. But it's the people that are that weakest link as well, right? That's the target that, when we're doing pen testing exercises, it's the systems we need to get access to, but it's the people that we're looking to do it through. So again, cyber awareness and education, and not memorizing a bunch of terms, what's a worm and what's a virus. And we need to go through actual experience and exercises that that we're doing now to help you realize what life is of what somebody's trying to attack, right? What you shouldn't be clicking on, what you should be looking for. Again, I always talk about weak signals. This is a weird email. Something's off. Stop, right? We need to get the people to start thinking from that mentality.
We spoke to another cybersecurity expert here, Al Dillon with Cyber Labs, and Al talked about a culture. We need to instill a culture of cyber security, right down to almost a high school level, or even beyond that. Talk a little bit about that culture.
Yes, absolutely. So people are still under the mindset right now, or a lot of organizations, it's like an insurance. I need to get cyber. I need to go buy, right? And again, so you're right. We need to build that culture. When we walk into a building and somebody's following you, it needs to be instinct that, hey, wait a minute, does this person have the right to follow me through this doorway, right? If I'm walking away from my computer, it just needs to be habit or instinct, a culture to turn that off. We're working in the cyber industry that we're here to protect, not to stop, right? So we're trying to build tools out that say, we're not saying, no, you can't go there, and no, you can't go to that website, and no, you can't use that application. We're now getting to say, here's how you can use that application safely. Here's how we can eliminate or at least mitigate some of that risk, or push that risk off to somebody else with cyber insurance, for example. So that's the culture that we're trying to build, that we're trying to say we're the yes people, the security folks. Because as soon as something stops working in a network, those cybersecurity people must have done something, right? But we're really there just to, that means somebody else has done something and we've protected you from not exposing yourself, right? I spoke last week at an internal innovation spotlight we're doing inside of Calian around quantum encryption. So quantum computers are maybe 10 years down the road, but people are stealing your encrypted data now, harvesting and waiting for the time when quantum computing, right? So maybe that one-time password is not very valuable to them, but your medical records, your IP, right? If they steal the formula for Coca-Cola or the plans for the new battleship or the new frigates that are being built, they can't do anything with it today, but it's 10 years before those ships are going to be in the water. And if I can decrypt that data in 10 years from now I've got the plans of the ships, right? So data harvesting is happening a lot right now, waiting for that quantum encryption story to become true. And then they can just decrypt, and all of the internet at that day is broken, right? Any encryption, your banking information, every text you've ever sent is now, publicly available and public access.
Kevin, fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So topical on this day at DevSec.
Yeah.
I know Calian's a great company. Quite honestly, I had no idea you were in so many so many operations, but I think you're right. You hit the value right on the head. It's your ability to take cyber across all of those different areas that makes you such a special offering. And great to have you here today with us. And thank you very much.
All right, a pleasure. Good to meet a couple of new Snayer.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Yeah.